and welcome to this morning's Wuxing Long Pai Tai Chi. What I think I'd like to do is to start off with feet roughly shoulder width and parallel, nice and relaxed. Get the body in a good, relaxed, comfortable position. I want your weight in the center of the triangle of the foot. Now, the triangle of the foot is that comes across the ball to the heel and back up. There's your triangle, and I want your weight right in the middle of it to start with. And we're going to play around with that a little bit today. So we're going to start with the feet right in the center of the triangle, or the weight right in the center of the triangle of the foot. And I want you to kind of lean forward and lean back a little bit until you can feel both the sort of the straight line across the ball of the foot, sort of the base of the triangle, and the point of the triangle at the heel. And until you can find, and you can feel both and feel the whole thing along that longitudinal axis. All right, I'm going to mute folks that are not muted, just so that, there we go. So there's not a lot of audio ticking. Did it again. Over here, please. Auto motion sensor camera, and I move and it loses me. All right. So again, we're going to go forward and back. And then we want to feel that front and back of the triangle. And then we're going to sort of roll the feet out and roll them in so we can feel the outer edge and the inner edge of that triangle. And then we're going to shift into one leg so we can really focus the weight going straight down into the center of that triangle. And then the other leg. Just getting the feel of these. So we're targeting ourselves right where we want to be. Once we have that, we want to pay attention to the ball and socket joints of the hips and the hinge joint of the knee, and we want to work them together so that the weight goes right between the triangles. And if you'll see, if you were to fold your knees and your hips, that weight goes straight down. The center of the triangle is between them. It's not like right underneath the knee, because then we'd be falling backward. We don't want it too close to the hip, or we'd be falling forward, and to compensate, we'd end up locking and pushing the hip forward. We want a nice fold between knee and hip where the weight goes straight through and right up our center line. So that's one of the things we're looking for, is that perfect straight up and down motion where it doesn't feel like my weight shifts forward and back in that triangle, but can stay right in the middle by deflecting both the hip and knee together. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come up into our upper position here, and we're going to come forward just a little bit. We don't want to go all the way to the ball of the foot. We want to come forward just a tiny bit off of that center, and I want you to notice what happens to the tissues of the whole leg, how they activate slightly. And then if you come back just a little bit, how they release slightly, but your weight feels like you're falling backwards a little bit, right? And so we want to play with that until we're in the sweet spot that isn't quite the middle. It's slightly forward of the middle because it lets us be active and dynamic with our legs. Once we have that, we're going to go up and down on that spot and notice what that feels like. A little bit different. Feels like it activates the quadriceps a little bit more when you come down. Now, when we do this, I want you to get your legs feeling like they're receiving, like they're catching weight rather than working hard. And then just kind of almost like the leg muscles are squeezing rather than pushing. We're sort of squeezing towards the bone. So your knee and hip are moving towards each other, right? Learning to articulate the bones instead of fighting against the force of gravity. It's almost like everything is squeezing towards the center line and then releasing. We want to try to get the whole body to feel like this sense of spreading out to catch and receive and squeezing towards the center line to express. We're going to do that here also. As we start working, I want you to just feel the pelvic floor along with the lower back and the abdomen. And as you straighten out, I want you to just gently compress the core and let that create the feeling of that spine, along like you're pushing the spine up slightly from down here. And then relax that too. And then the last piece we're going to do this is a little Qigong exercise here. We're going to pull gently up on the pelvic floor and gently in on all the muscles of the lower abdomen and the pelvis so that everything's kind of squeezes as we inhale. Now, it's important that we don't do this too powerfully, because if you do it too powerfully, you're going to tend to breathe up here. We don't want to breathe up here. We still want to breathe down here. We just want to condense the tissue and compress it against the diaphragm so that there's a sense of pumping blood and kind of compressing down here. And then you relax and release and just let everything spread out. You want to bring the hands out in front and extend it. You're going to like extend through your arms, like your arms are elongating too as your body elongates. And we're going to see how this builds right into our usual expanding Qigong. Reach our arms out and relax the shoulders down. Just exhale and sink a little. Now we're going to go into meridian breathing. So as we inhale, I want you to imagine as though you're breathing through your arms, breathing into your body all the way down to the chin. Same thing with your legs, breathing through your legs, through the channels of the legs, as though breathing into the body. So the whole body's breathing in. In this position, we're going to draw everything in as we inhale and out as you exhale. And then the arms come down. And now we're going to bounce. As though we were in a medium, like water. You're trying to use your whole body to move that water. No internal tension, just connectedness. and then counter swing. And then column swing. Okay. And then counter column swing. Start with just getting it loose, so your whole body feels loose and smooth. And then reach. So reaching up to kind of grasp a fruit and pluck it from a tree, but let your weight pull it down. So you're not holding up your shoulder strength. Just relax, like you're just barely reaching up to just kind of brush it, and then hook it, pull it down. So you train that letting go response, but joining with the weight of the body. And we keep it slightly active, so like we're really like not only grasping and pulling it down, but also catching it. And we're going to knock it up, just gently push it up, and catch it if it falls. A gentle upward push, it comes from the leg, through the torso, through the shoulder, all the way up. There's not a lot of shoulder, there's not a lot of lifting from above. It's like you're just the twist and turn and push from the leg. We're letting that momentum come up the body, we're supporting it. Remember in the beginning when we did that, like expand on the inhale where we expanded, we're doing that same expansion here. Everything is squeezing towards the bones to create an elongating energy, not a lifting the arm up. Don't think of lifting the arm. Think of squeezing it from below. Use your torso, feel the muscles here, join with the action of the leg and hip, and the torso to push and squeeze like you're pushing up and out. Imagine if you had to take something and toss it up from, like push it up from below. Right? Think of it that way. It's just gentle. Last part is now when it comes down, we catch, turn, we're going to twist and have this ever so slight push back with the back hand as I turn. So I'm turning towards this right side, there's a fold here and a fold in the shoulder here to create a slight outward pressure back here. That joins with, timing-wise, the part that reaches up. So the right side is twisting one way, while the left side is twisting the other. So this side is twisting open, the shoulder's twisting open, the hip is twisting open. This side, the hip is closing, the shoulder's closing, and we have that twist in the right and left channels. And it kind of like they twist towards the center, and then they change and expand. They expand, contract, expand. You'll feel that. Almost like this is happening in each one. We're going to expand, contract towards the center, expand the other way. And relax. Check it out for a second. All right. So what I'd like to do is to do a little bit of the 7 posture standing Qigong. Okay. We won't do too long in them today, simply because I don't want to take so much time on just the Qigong so we don't get to the Tai Chi form at all. All right, so which has happened on more than one occasion. But a quick review of the 7 postures. What we're going to do is do 5 good, nice, deep, slow breaths in each position. I'm going to review the positions real quick just so you know what they are and the intentions behind them. Because while we're doing this with the breath, I don't want to take the time to describe it in each position again, because that just adds more time. And also doesn't let you focus on the actual process as you try to figure it out. So the first one is, and there's transitions, but just follow me along in the transitions. You'll get them as we go along. The first one is this pillar of the sky position where the palms are up. I want the palm ideally directly over the shoulder, fingertips lightly touching or just away from each other. We want that sense of as if we're catching something. As if there's a weight coming down, we're not going to catch it with our shoulders, we're going to catch it with our legs. And we want to transfer that weight, particularly through here, into the column of the body, so that we have a sense of the shoulder blades coming back and down, squeezing the weight towards our center line so it can come into our legs rather than stay in our shoulders. Okay, that's position 1. Coming out of that, we'll come down. We'll do a quick series of movements that gets us into position 2. Now, position 2, we've got that sort of triangular shape with the thumb and index finger, but they're not going to touch. The rest of the hand is shaped into the dragon palm, and I've got a slightly outward pressure. It's like I'm pushing with the palms so slightly and the shoulders, but I'm also going to be slightly expanding the Ming Men back here backwards to counterbalance that. So there's a sense of front and back expansion. As I do so, I'm going to bring the hands up and get it into this position right above the mid-eyebrow point, or just right at the mid-eyebrow point. The whole idea here is I should be able to catch, as if somebody threw a medicine ball and I was going to catch it, but I could also be pushing it. I'm right in between catching and pushing, right? With a slight expansion in the low back to counterbalance, like I'm outreaching to receive. Right? And to come down from that one, the hands will come out and down. This time to get set up, we'll kind of move like we're moving into Wuji, like hugging a tree. But then once we're here, we're going to bend the elbows. Just notice I don't move the arm and shoulder back. I just bend the elbows to here. So the hands are like right at the level of the collarbone. Then I'm going to take this whole shoulder complex from the shoulder joint, the ball and socket joint, and the scapula, and like it's trying to extend down and out. Like I'm trying to pull all of this open down and out. So I'm here, and then I go down and out. As I go down and I reach the end of down and out, I should feel like there's a stretch that happens through here, right? And in the back, and even under here perhaps. Then I'm going to ever so slightly, like I was going to press my palms down, almost as if there's a big ball here, and I'm just going to gently press it with my palms. What this is going to do is open up all of this here, all around this base of the neck, and then where the neck and shoulders and chest all come together. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm in my usual Zhuang posture. Once I've completed that one, it's like I'm going to compress that ball now. My whole body is engaged in compressing that ball downward. Then we move right into the next one, which will actually be the Wuxing posture, where we come back around the tree and we just hold. Notice my elbows are slightly below my wrists, right? And I'm not out, and I'm not in. I'm just nice naturally around. My shoulders are relaxed. I'm going to try to drop the shoulders, and the hands are kind of like right in front of the center of the chest. Okay. That's the fourth position. Then to come out of that one, we're going to bring the hands into the center and down. To get into the fifth position, it's like we're doing Taiji beginning. We're going to extend everything, extend all the joints as we open up and reach out, and then back a little till the elbows come level with the body and down. And the hands are about shoulder width apart. And then I want the forearm and palm all the way to the elbow to be parallel to the ground. And what I'm doing is I want to imagine as if I'm holding something down with the whole forearm and my body weight. Like everything is slightly pressing down. And it could come up at any place. It could come up in the front, it could come up in the back, it could come up on one side or the other. So I've got this dynamic like changeability that I could respond to that. Then from there, I press down again. And as I straighten up, and I bring the hands into the dantian, or in front of the dantian. Again, making that kind of almost triangle with the hands right in front of the lower abdomen. Now, here, when I'm doing this, the whole time that I'm in this posture, I'm sort of imagining and drawing inward, like I'm kind of condensing this dantian. The whole time, every time I inhale, it's condensing more. Every time I exhale, that condensing gets kind of compressed and kind of, intensifies the energy, which is what I'm shooting for. Then after that one, we come down. We're going to do one full breath up and in. That'll be the transition to the last one. When I come down, I'm pushing my palms down like this, kind of parallel to the ground and pressing down. I'm going to bring them around to the sides. See how my elbows are slightly bent? I don't want to be locked. Slightly bent, but I'm going to bring them right along the sides here. And all I'm doing is like I'm extending down through the legs, through the arms, and up and down through the spine. So my whole body is like getting longer without locking anything out or straightening the joints. Okay? And then to finish, we'll just close, and that'll be the last one. Okay, let's go through that sequence. 5 good deep breaths in each position. Try to hold that in each one's intention, right? Catching the weight, slight outward pressure, but also ready to receive. Out and down, and down. Just sort of continuity, wholeness, like a sense of the sphere of the whole self being a column in the middle of a sphere, like the body is a column in the middle of the sphere of your awareness. That's the neutral position. Then pressing down, just going through the reviewing, gathering in and condensing, elongating and expansion. Okay? All right, tongue lightly touches the roof of the mouth. Don't use force. Everything is very gentle. Start with a gathering the chi. See, this is slightly different. My palms are parallel, but see how rounded I am. Come out. I'm swinging out and up. to above, and I'm gonna catch, like I'm catching weight. Sink into my legs a little bit, open up the shoulders, and just good 5 deep breaths. And we go down slow. Palms towards each other. Take a deep breath in, bring the hands up. Turn them towards the mid-eyebrow first, in. This is the transition, then down. Each one has a transition from movement to movement. And we make that triangle with the palm fingers, index finger and thumb. Press up and out. Like we're pressing out to catch. And let the weight of the elbows pull the hands down and out to shoulder width. And down, palms forward. This is the transition. Opening, like you're gathering or hugging a tree. Reach out in front of the chest. And we bend the elbows. Everything goes out and then down. Press down, the whole body. Like we're compressing it down, sinking into the legs a little as we do so. Straighten up a little. And reach out and gather the chi to the chest again as though holding the tree. And go into that neutral position, the Wuji. Into the chest, letting your awareness move inward to the center line and down. Pelvic floor that is gently supported, and out. And elongate like we're doing that Tai Chi beginning now. Legs and arms extend. Hands come back, press down, parallel to the ground. Now the whole body is holding, it's like it's holding something down. Pressing it down, like compressing it again. Again, now we straighten up a little bit. Hands in front of the dantian, gathering the chi to the dantian, and now everything is condensing towards the dantian. Press, straighten, and gather the chi one time. Press down. The arms and legs are almost straight. Hands around. Now everything is pressing down. The center line is expanding up and down. And you're relaxing into that, letting your body get more open. Relax and close. Bring the feet in and close. All right, hands, wrists, and fingers. Other way. Just a little body loosening here. We're going to go through these quickly, add in the elbows, because a lot of this Qigong we've been doing should have opened a lot of things up already. The other way. And the shoulders. Shoulders back and hands together, palms out. And reverse, fingertips together. Trying to bring the elbows close, really opening up the back. And then palms out. Opening and closing the chest. Trunk twists from the center, patting the body. Shoulder and low back. Collarbone. Center of the chest. Solar plexus and mid-back. Dantian. Adding the dynamo. Hips. Down the outside of the legs. The inside middle. Front outside. Up the front inside. Down the back of the legs. Up the back inside. Check them out. Ankle and hip. And rotate the other way. Foot, rotating the foot and ankle. And the other way. Now, before we do the brushing the grass, we'll switch. Try mixing it up so we're not just on one leg the whole time, letting your leg kind of get a little rest in between to play around with a little bit more focus on the later exercises. And go the other way. Foot and ankle. And the other way. Brush the grass. Remember, find the triangle of the foot slightly forward of the center of the triangle. And then imagine as if you're in water, so there's resistance. Notice how your body acts when it feels and it tries to feel like it has to create energy and focus and pressure. And try to relax it and still stabilize it. And the other way. Then behind, keeping that heel down. And the other way. Shake it out. Switch legs. Way. And behind. And the other way. And shake it out. A couple of quick leg stretches. Leg up. Let it fold down. I know we're doing this out of our usual order. That's because sometimes it's good just to change things up. Back up and back. Check it out. Other side. Up. Open. And down. And back. Check it out. Widen the feet, pointing the feet slightly outward. Sink down into the stance, sit down. Again, weight in the same place in the triangles of the foot. Play around with it. Go one, then the other, forward and back. Play around with tilting. Find the sweet spot. Shift to one side. Rotate that other foot open. As you do so, pull, put a slight pressure down with the foot. We're going to pull the ball and socket joint open. Small circle. Just moving this ball and socket joint right here. The other way. And turn that foot back in. Turn the other one out. Press it down. Press it slightly. Pull the ball and socket joint open. And small circles with this one. And the other way. Turn it back in. So now my feet, instead of being like this, are now like this again. 45-degree angle out, nice and wide. I'm going to pull the ball and socket joints away from each other and circle the pelvic floor. And the other way. I'm going to bring my awareness up to the ball, or up to the waist. I'm going to circle the waist. And the other way. And I'm going to roll the hips back and forth. And the other way, just playing around with motion, making sure everything from the leg up through the pelvis and into the waist, all loose and open and free. Shake them out. All right, real quick hamstring, and then we're going to go into the quick hamstring stretch. Not too fast because you won't pull anything, but then we're going to go into the form. So press the knees back. You can straighten the back of the legs, kind of lock them. This is the one time you can lock them. Lift the sacrum, fold at the waist, just fold at that ball and socket joint of the hip. Trying to keep the back strong and supported. Tailbone, pelvic floor, core, all aligned with the spine. Turn to one side. Once we're here, what I want you to do is you're going to push your hip to the opposite side a little bit, stretching that quadratus lumborum on the opposite side. And then back. Just a little bit of movement, just like that. Go to the other side. Now I'm pushing the hip over and twisting just a little. Now we're going to keep it in the center and sweep back and forth. This is the two dragons circle the pond. Just really gentle movement, at least for now. I'm not going to reach too far apart, just opening things up. There's been a lot of cold weather, a lot of snow. Chances are you've done some shoveling and work with it. That can really work all of those muscles. So we don't want to be overtaxing or forcing them. We're going to widen the feet just a little, point the feet out, and drop into a squat stance. Nice and relaxed, just shifting your weight back and forth in the squat stance. And press up the legs and roll the spine. Nice little dragon spine, just. And wild horse shakes his mane. All right. What I want to do is go through the 16 moves to one side. We've got the first 8 pretty down to both sides pretty well. I want to start working with the second 8, so we're going to do the 16 on the right side. Now, you may need to reverse it for you. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that, because to me it looks reversed in one way, mirror imaged in one way, and then from what I understand, it actually reverses it back. I don't know. Just recognize that I will be saying the motion I'm making. So when I say deflect left, I'm going to turn this way because this is my left. And you should turn to your left. Okay? All right. Yeah, it's a reverse, isn't it? If it completely throws you off, it's okay. You can do the other side. It's fine. It's not going to hurt you. Okay? We start with our feet together. Central equilibrium. And the first movement is sleeping dragon awakens to find the root. So it's that sort of meridian flow. Let our awareness go to the bubbling well and up the yin channels of the legs. Right to the Dan Tian. As we step out, our awareness flows up the center line. From there, out to the right and left channels. And down. Just setting up our posture. Relax the hands, let gravity pull the fingertips down. And we expand, Taiji beginning. Deflecting left, receive that left leg, press. And right. Step. Outreach. Roll back. And press. More pounds and more. Split left and open right. Cross the hands and look to the right. Step, squeeze, and press. Push to the front. Two dragons seal the gate. Roll the pearl. And hook with crane's bill. Pump. And single whip. Catch and pull down. Deflect right. Sink into that right leg. Press. Step around. And turn on the heel. More pounds more. Split left and open right. That's the same. Step back and withdraw. This hand is going to come back and this hand is going to come under. Cross the hands. Put no weight on this right leg or front leg. Step back to the right. Sweep across. And white crane fends off snake. Play the loop. Pick up the leg and the front hand. Back hand comes down close. Step out. And press and extend. Turn that back foot slightly. Windmill the arms, sweeping back. Sink, and brush past the knee. Plank. Press. Open. Lock into the back leg and up. Outreach. We step out and forward. Neutralize, you're going to condense everything towards the center. Neutralize and press. Pull back, outreach. Neutralize and press. Turn that back foot again. Windmill the arms. Sink and brush past the knee. Look. And play. Outreach. Neutralize. And press. Catch and pull down. Turn the foot. Open. And the feet together. And as I pull down, I'm going to step out with my back leg here. Push out. And we've got circling palms. Right hand first. 1. Left hand. 1. 2. 3. 3. Right hand here, chin is by the body, and punch. Open. Withdraw into the back leg. And immortal pounds the mortar. And that's it. Then we bring the foot in and close. That's the 16 moves of the long mirror to one side. The long mirror, of course, also does the other side. So what I want to do is I kind of want to review from the front angle that little sequence. So I'm going to start a little bit closer so that I can move back. And we're going to start with that split and open and withdraw. So we're here, we receive into the one leg and split and open. That doesn't change. But then as I withdraw, I want you to notice this hand stays kind of on just to the cross, just crosses the center line. If I turn to the front so you can see it, it does this as I shift. So my hand stays to just the this side of my face. Okay? So I'm here, it's right in front of the center line. It crosses slightly and then comes over here to meet this hand. If I turn towards the front, you can see I'm just left of center. Then I step back again. When I place my foot, I put my foot at an angle out this way. So it's like a 45-degree angle that way. And then as I come across, I'm not using my arms here. I'm using my torso. Right? I use my torso and shift and withdraw this leg close. Then, white crane fends off snake. From the side, this front hand just goes just like that. So you can see from the front, it just goes straight forward. But it's still sort of rounded. Right? The arm is rounded, it's not straight. It's rounded, the elbow's out. See how it's rounded here? I want that curve. So it's relaxed. This hand is simply sweeping down to just outside the body. It has the same roundedness. You see? There's a curve and a curve. Okay? Let's look at that again from here. White crane fends off snake. We just sink into this leg a little bit and turn the torso. This leg, there's no weight on it. Let's go through that little sequence one time. Good, soft and buoyant. Split and open. Step back and withdraw. Step back to the right. And white crane fins off snake. And to play the lute, we just bring this front hand back close to the body along the center line. And this hand comes right up in front of the center line, up and out, when the front leg goes up. I'm going to bring my foot back out to shoulder width, heel down, foot flat, pressing. I'm going to sink down, press down and forward. So it's like I'm trying to push down and forward with my legs and waist, not from above. It's here. Okay? Up. Excellent. All right, that's our time. Let's close up. Sure. Thank you all very much for joining me today, and we'll see you all hopefully next week. Bar craziness.
Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome.